Hello, church family. I hope you all are having a wonderful week and that you are reflecting on the sermon that Pastor Kandace preached this last Sabbath. If you didn't hear it, you can go to our YouTube page, look for Spencerville Church in YouTube, and go to our page, and all of our past sermons are on there. But this last week's sermon, she talked to us about forgiveness, and it's a good thing to remind us about the importance of forgiveness for our relationship with God and our relationships with one another. It's such a necessary thing. Not forgiveness based on conditions, not forgiveness based on getting everything that we want, but forgiveness based on the fact that Christ has forgiven us. So I'm grateful for Pastor Kandace's sermon this last Sabbath. I am preaching this Sabbath. I'll be in Acts chapter 16. And I'm going to preach on a passage probably that you don't normally hear preached about. I bet if you go and read it, you'll be able to figure out which one it is if you know that it's not one that you would expect normally for someone to preach on. So, Acts chapter 16, and I hope that you will join us in person if you want or online. I want to remind all of you that there is no first service this Sabbath because our Vacation Bible School, it's abbreviated Vacation Bible School this year. It's running Friday, Sabbath, and Sunday mornings. And it's full. We have all of our signups that we can take, and Pastor Larone and Tracy Bellevaux and some others, Hannah Bellevaux and some of their team are working hard to have everything ready. And so we're praying for God's blessing upon that this weekend, Friday, Sabbath, and Sunday mornings. So please keep that in prayer. But we won't be having a first service this Sabbath. Sabbath, August 7th, we are moving first service indoors, and so we invite you still at 9 a.m., about a 50-minute service, same sermon, a little different music, abbreviated in some ways, children's story still, but that's going to be Sabbath, August 7th. But this Sabbath, there will be no first service, but we're still having our normal second service, and I will be continuing a sermon series on the book of Acts, and like I said, Acts chapter 16, August 7th, August 14th, and August 21st, we're going to do a little three-part series that's not from the book of Acts. It's different, and so I hope that you will join us for that little three-part series, which we're going to talk about our Connect groups. And speaking of Connect groups, I want to, again, make the appeal to some of you to consider being facilitators. We had a good number sign up this last Sabbath, but we'd love to see more of you. I'd love to have some men, more men sign up, or let me say this, or couples that would be willing to open their homes or have the Connect group here at church. Now, what is Connect group, by the way? Connect group is our small groups, and we're now calling them Connect groups. Why? Because we want people to connect to Jesus and to connect to one another. In fact, I was thinking about this when someone's like, what's the mission of your small groups? Connect to Jesus, connect to one another. We connect to Jesus by praying together, by studying together, by serving together, but just by fellowshipping with one another. We connect to Jesus in those various ways. Eating together, that's a good way too. We connect with one another, though, in the same way, but we connect to one another when we're in smaller community. I can be sitting in a worship service with 1,000 people or a few hundred people or whatever it may be, and there can be a word spoken. There can be a song sung, the opening hymn this last Sabbath. Our collegiates, Cameron Mayer, Ethan Wu, and Caleb Salazar are leading the music in first service this last Sabbath. And there was moments that I just felt my heart was touched and connected to Jesus, and the challenge from Pastor Kandace about forgiveness and Jesus' words that if we don't forgive, I mean, I felt myself being drawn towards the Lord, and I can do that in large groups or by myself, but I don't really connect to others in that type of environment. I only connect with them in smaller gatherings. And I was thinking about something that I've heard so many times here. When I first came here, especially, folk told me, like, we've been members here 5 years. We've been members here 7 years. And we love the church. We love the people. We love the children's ministries. We love the music, whatever else. We love the preaching, whatever else it may be. but it's taken us a while to connect. Some people saying that after 5, 7, 8, 9 years. Not because they weren't complaining about the people, but they were just saying it's big. It's hard to connect in such a large church. Well, I think about the fact that we've grown by 600 members almost since that time. 600 members since that time. It's even harder in some ways to connect now. So I just want to ask you to think about that experience maybe that you had of not connecting super well. And think of all the people that have joined us. I mean, there's actually been quite a few transfers during COVID, people that have transferred to our church. There's a couple that I think is coming this Sabbath for the first time. And I just pray that God will wrap them up with his love, but also that our members will look for people they don't recognize, they don't know. But I want to get these people, I want to get people like this couple that I'm thinking of right now into a connect group so that they're not 5 years down the road saying it's been really hard for us to connect with others. We need to connect with one another, and it shouldn't take us 5 years or 12 years, but that's only going to happen in smaller communities. It's probably why Ellen White says she was shown by one who cannot fail a method for ministry, which is the gathering of small companies, small groups, what we're calling connect groups. So please, Pastor Kandace is going to be at the table this week. If you have questions, go and talk to her. Sign up to be a facilitator. And let's have as many groups as possible so that we can have groups available for when people want to sign up for those groups. They'll be there. You may say, well, I don't know what to do in our group. I don't know what to study. We're going to have a facilitators training at the end of the month in August, at the end of August, 2 different weeknights in order to provide options for people. We'll provide pizza at those gatherings. And we're going to give you a book. I don't have it with me. I showed it to you last week. We're going to give you a book. So there's things that we're going to do. So I want to say that. I'm going to leave connect groups real quick, and I want to tell you guys one more thing. And I'm doing this because Pastor Jason is on vacation this week, and he's not going to be editing this video as he normally does. And so I apologize that this will not be as well or as clean as Pastor Jason does it. But I just want to give a big shout out to Pastor Jason and really his media team, everything during the pandemic. I've had so many people come to me and say, thank you for keeping us connected during the pandemic. Thanks for all you guys did. Thanks for everything that you guys put out there. Y'all, we had less meetings as a whole as pastors. We kind of got spoiled in some ways. Not Pastor Jason. He was putting in 70 hours, 60, 70 hours a week to make sure that everything was running for the Zoom meetings, that everything was ready for the Sabbath schools and the Zoom, that everything was ready for the weekly updates and for the worship service week after week. So I just want to say thanks to Pastor Jason. He can't take this out because he's not going to see it till it's already out there and airing. So please, when you see Pastor Jason, make sure you thank him for having the pastor's heart that he does to love all of us so much that he sacrifices so much time. I'm glad he's taking vacation this week. I hope no one's trying to get a hold of him. If you need to the rest of the week, just let him be and enjoy his time with his family. But we will see you this Sabbath remember, no first service. So this Sabbath school's at 10, and then our second service at 11:30. By the way, someone asked me, why are we having a half-hour gap between Sabbath school? And it's because we have still 6 adult Sabbath schools on Zoom, and all of our children's Sabbath schools, except for the early teens and the high school, are on Zoom. And so we have that extra half hour to give people the time to be done with their Sabbath schools and get to church. And each of the last 2 Sabbaths, we've had more people here at church. So that's the reason why we have that gap. Use that time to mingle, use that time to pray, use that time to study your Bible, whatever you want to do. If you come to the Sabbath schools here in person, use that time to connect with others. And remember, we're still under the board vote. If you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask as long as the county continues to say that. If that changes between now and then, ignore this. If you have not been vaccinated, please wear a mask. All right. We'll see you all Sabbath. Love you. Go by our Connect Group facilitators table and sign up to be a facilitator, a host, a leader, whatever you want to call it, for our Connect groups. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.